Finally, there's a full-frame Nikon for your full-time passion. I'm Lindsay Silverman, a Senior Product Manager for Nikon, and I'm really excited to introduce to you the full-frame and affordable Nikon D600 camera. At 26.8 ounces, it's also Nikon's lightest and smallest FX format full-frame HD SLR. Built into D600, and what makes it a truly exciting new camera, is that it's got a 24.3 megapixel CMOS sensor. Also included is a 2016 RGB pixel 3D color matrix metering system and scene recognition system, a 39-point autofocus system, full HD 1080p video with great features like stereo microphone, stereo headphone jack so you can monitor sound and isolation. It can also use HDMI connection, and you can go into a recording device and record uncompressed video via the HDMI out. D600 also includes a 3.2-inch 921,000 dot LCD screen. Great for navigating through the menu system, excellent for previewing your images, and certainly really useful for when you want to shoot pictures with the live view system or when you're recording HD video. There's a host of features on D600 that'll allow you to be really creative. One of them is a dedicated picture control button on the back of the camera that lets you navigate through the standard, the neutral, vivid color response, or monochrome for when you want to shoot black and white images. The XP3 image processing engine is going to ensure that when you're shooting in a situation like this, you get really beautiful details from the shadow area to the mid-tone area all the way up to the highlights. A broad dynamic range. Also in D600 is a wide ISO range from 100 to 6400. That means I can be shooting in bright sunlight, getting all the beautiful color details that I would expect, all the way up to 6400, really low light. So if I'm shooting in the shadow areas or I'm shooting indoors, D600 is going to be the camera that I'm going to be able to use in all of those situations. Also built into D600 is HDR control, which allows you to shoot two pictures really quickly at either 1 EV, 2 EV, or 3 EV difference, so that when you're really confronted with a scene with a wide dynamic range, you can pick up the tones from shadow to highlight. You know, I consider myself a photo enthusiast. I love taking pictures of different things. I don't gravitate towards one type of photography. And to that point, I don't really gravitate towards one type of shooting mode. So I'm really jazzed that D600 also includes a great layout of all the controls. But for me, it's got manual exposure control, aperture priority, shutter priority program. It's even got some great scene modes that I like to use in situations where I really don't have time to think about what I want to do to take pictures. You know, I like to shoot varied subjects. You know, one day I'll be shooting stuff that's got a lot of action. One day I'll be shooting scenes that are really static. And so what I like to do is very quickly get to the modes I like to shoot in when I'm in those situations. So there's user control 1 and user control 2 on the top of the camera that allows you to set a group of features, and simply by turning that control, the camera gets you back to that set that you've already dialed into the camera. Really useful, really quick, and actually really intuitive when you're out shooting pictures. One of the great advantages of Nikon's FX format sensor is that you can shoot with the full line of Nikkor lenses. So today I'm out here shooting with the recently added 24-85, a great lens to walk around as my standard lens when I'm out taking pictures. I can go from wide angle to moderate wide to a great portrait focal length, and that's typically the type of things I like taking pictures of. But you know what? I've also shoot with some of Nikon's DX cameras, like the D7000. And I have a group of lenses that I consider some of my go-to lenses, like the 10-24 DX format lens. And so D600, of course, as you would expect, incorporates Nikon's DX crop mode in it, so that as soon as you mount a DX Nikkor lens on here, the camera automatically senses that and sets the camera to DX crop mode. Really handy, especially if you're going to be moving up from a D7000, a camera like the D90, or even a D300S. You know, you're out taking pictures with your D600 at a family event, a picnic, or out for the day with the family, and you get a great shot, and you really want to share that moment, that experience, that shot you've taken with your D600. Well, one of the truly exciting features of this camera is that with a new accessory called the WU1B wireless mobile adapter, which I've cleverly got attached to my camera now, you are able to transfer the images that you take to a smart device. So very easily and very quickly you can transfer those images to a smartphone or a tablet. Now, if you're like me, who's always behind the camera, especially at family events and never in the picture, one of the really great aspects of using the W1B and a smartphone is a feature called Take Pictures Remotely. It allows you to get in the picture, see what the camera sees on your smartphone or tablet, and simply take the picture. It's a lot of fun, it's very creative, and I know you'll enjoy using that too. Another thing I like to do is I like to shoot flash pictures, either on camera with an accessory speed light like the SB700 or the SB910, and of course D600's got Nikon's hot shoe on top. The built-in flash I use for fill flash, and it's really a high quality flash. But more important to me is built into D600 is like a little lighting studio. It's got Nikon's commander mode, which allows me to shoot wirelessly with my SB700, my SB910, or the Nikon wireless close-up speed light system, and it allows me to shoot with two groups, A or B, so that I can do main light and fill light, or background light and foreground light really easily, very quickly. And I like to do that, believe it or not. I'll shoot on program mode and let the camera make all the decisions. It's really great, it's really fast, and I know a lot of you out there like me, you're always shooting something different. It's just another great reason to pick up D600. You know, one of the exciting things for me these days is not just to be able to take stills, but also to take high quality HD video. So D600 is well equipped to do that. It's got 1080p at 30 frames per second. It's got 720p at 60 frames per second. So if you like to do some transitional slow motion effects, you can do that. It's got a stereo jack on the side of the camera, and I've got the ME1 stereo microphone attached to give me great stereo sound. It's even got a headphone jack, so if you really want to be really precise with your sound leveling, you put on headphones and monitor the sound in isolation. And of course, I mean, this is really exciting about D600, through the HDMI connection on the side of the camera, you can actually record uncompressed video to an external video recorder. So it's a really exciting feature set for videographers out there. You've got a great feature set for still pictures out there. So, you know, I don't consider myself a movie maker, but I do capture a lot of family moments and travel moments, and I will shoot a combination of stills and video and put those together later on in software. And it's been one of those really enjoyable things for me to do. And so D600 is well equipped to do both of those at any given moment. And to do that, actually, on the back of D600, there's a dedicated live view button on the back here that allows you to set live view for movies, which retains the features that you set when you're recording your HD video. And speaking of the HD video, you can actually record your video manually. So I can manually set a shutter speed, I can manually set an aperture, I can set the ISO where I want it to be, so as I'm panning maybe from bright to shadow or from shadow to highlight, my exposure stays nice and uniform throughout. Of course, you can set an automatic mode, and the camera's well equipped to handle that as well, including a great feature that we've got on some of our other cameras called full-time autofocus. So D600 is well equipped to handle whatever you can throw at it video-wise. It's got a great feature set for stills, and you know what? Because of its size, its weight, its overall performance, it's going to be a camera that I know I'm going to be carrying wherever I go. D600 can shoot at up to 5.5 frames per second. That's really amazing when you consider it does that either in its RAW mode, which we call our NEF file, the Nikon electronic file, or JPEG mode, which is a compressed format mode, or even when you're shooting RAW and compressed together. So NEF and JPEG together, the camera will still shoot at 5.5 frames per second. This is a really exciting camera. Whether you're a photo enthusiast or an advanced amateur, or just someone like me who just loves to go out and take pictures all the time, I know I'm going to be carrying D600 with me wherever I go. Wow, look at that. Beautiful light. So we hope you enjoyed this brief hands-on with the Nikon D600. For Nikon, I'm Lindsay Silverman, and I'm going out to take some pictures.